Hi everybody, it's Transition Tuesday. Joe, Jane. Today we're going to talk about programs and supports. And Joe decided that he wants to answer some questions. He wants to go first, and then I'm going to talk about some programs that we've used in our family. So, Joe? Joe's going to either touch my hand or use his voice to answer these questions. So, Joe, do you want people to know, even though you are considered nonverbal, that you want to be included in decisions about your life, health, and well-being? Touch my hand. You're touching my hand. Okay. Joe, is it important to you that people ask your permission when they are working with you? Either touch my hand or use your voice to answer. Is it important to you that people ask your permission when they are working with you? Are you touching my hand? Yes, it is. Joe, is having support people who are not your parents important to you? Is that important to you? Having support people who are not your parents? Yes. Okay. Joe, do you know about your comp waiver? Do you know about your comp waiver? I see you smiling. Touch my hand or tell me with your voice if you know about your comp waiver. Yes. Okay. All right. Are you aware that Rebecca is your support person as part of your comp waiver? Touch my hand or tell me with your voice. Are you aware that Rebecca is your support person? Yes. Okay. So that's kind of a way for us to show that, Joe is a nonverbal person, but his opinions are still important and valid in planning for transition services and supports. It's very important that Joe's included in his decisions. And even though sometimes it's hard for him to communicate, as you can see, it's still important to try. It's still important to give him the opportunity. Okay, so I have lists and lists and lists. And if you have questions about anything we've talked about, please PM me, private message me in Facebook, and I will do my best to answer your questions. So Joe supports, this is early intervention. So Joe was a preemie, and before he even came home from the hospital, we were connected with Babies Can't Wait. Georgia Pines, that's for children with visual and hearing impairments. White County Schools pre-K program. Most districts have some kind of pre-K program for early intervention services for kids with disabilities. CMS, Children's Medical Services. CSU, Integrated Early Learning, used to be Challenged Child when Joe went. Katie Beckett, Medicaid. That's a Medicaid waiver program for families who don't meet Medicaid income levels. It doesn't matter what your income level is, it's based on your level of disability. And HIP, it's a insurance premium reimbursement program for families who have the Katie Beckett waiver. So that's early intervention. Now, these are programs that our family used. There are other programs like for children who are on the autism spectrum, learning disabilities, things like that, but this is just what our family used. School age. Joe's supports at school age, of course, Katie Beckett was still important. CMS Clinic, Children's Medical Services Clinic, IDEA, that is public education for children who get special ed services. And that's an IEP. GAP, that's the Georgia Pediatric Program. It provides skilled nursing services for families who are eligible. It's a short-term program, but it's very helpful. It basically taught us how to have support people, the very beginning stages of that. Family Support Grant. That's a grant that pays for things like camps, additional therapies that Medicaid won't pay for, and just a whole host of things. It's a really good starter grant program to get involved with if your child has significant developmental disability. EPSDT, alphabet soup, but it is a program that partners, it's part of Medicaid waiver programs that pays for diapers for children and young adults up until you're no longer eligible for Katie Beckett at age 18. Of course, Medicaid, which is Katie Beckett, and GLASS. That is a library services program for people who cannot manipulate a book or read a book. It's free and it comes in the mail, and it is really an awesome program to know about. Respite and recreation programs for kids who are school age. Church programs, local church programs are awesome. We've used respite programs at some churches before. They're usually free, and it's great because it gets some community involvement for your child. So maybe people get to know them, and you can start building that relationship map. Heroes, that's our recreational sports league for kids with disabilities. It's awesome. Matthews Time and Camp Hawkins, local camps for kids with special needs. Local advocacy groups, Connectability is one in our area. They provide respite and social opportunities, parent group opportunities, special programs and events, and it's a really good way to get involved in your community. And Special Olympics. Adult programs. Our list of adult programs is pretty long, I think. Medicaid, of course, tied into Joe's Social Security supplemental. IDEA, that's special education till Joe turns 21. So we've got a little time on that. Joe's 18 now, so we've got a few more years of special ed. The comp waiver, there's also now, but Joe has comp, and that's through the Georgia Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities. So Medicaid provides services for medical issues, and comp waiver provides support for our caregiver, Rebecca, who's, as you've heard, very important to Joe. So those are some life things that need to happen when you start becoming an adult and start building your life as an adult. Kind of with your parents, separate from your parents. Stable account. That is a savings plan that's for people who receive SSI, and it allows you to take some of your SSI benefits and put them in a trust that lets you pay for things outside of the SSI rules. Special Olympics, they have some great transition programs for adults. Glass, the library program again. Joe gets Rolling Stone magazine and history magazines. We get books. It's really great. We've been using it, especially right now during the COVID quarantine. It's really been good. Voc Rehab, vocational rehabilitation services, job training, and employment readiness training. Last summer, they came out and did an assistive communication evaluation for Joe because communication is such a struggle for him. How can we really do good career and job assessments without the communication piece? So they came out and did that, and it was really great. Respite, recreation, and advocacy. Now, as Joe becomes an adult, he wants to be able to be his own spokesperson in any way that he can. So we've got our Heroes Sports League, GCDD, the Georgia Council on Developmental Disabilities. It's a great website. You should go check it out. And the ARC of Northeast Georgia. That's where Joe's social activities come from. We go bowling, well, when we're not quarantined. We could go bowling. We do monthly gatherings. There's lots of advocacy opportunities, but if you're not into that, you can just do the social piece. So these are all of the things that that have supported Joe for his life. And as you can see, pretty long list. It's out there. You have to, fill out applications and you have to do some work. And case manager definitely has to maintain all of that. But it's worth it because Joe has a lot going on in his life because of those programs. So if there's anything you have questions about, private message us, and I will try to answer any questions you have. Have a great week. See you next Tuesday.